Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld, and today we're going to take a look at some of the changes to the DMR category in the recent spring patch. Not that many YouTubers have been talking about this topic, but I really love the DMR, so I thought I'd let you guys know how they've changed. Personally, I think this category was fine the way it was, but clearly DICE didn't agree, and so they've rolled out a bunch of buffs and quite a few nerfs. The problem is that the nerfs probably outweigh the buffs at this point, which seems pretty stupid considering the DMRs were already one of the least popular categories. Admittedly, I don't think the nerfs are all that bad, but still, I just don't quite understand why DICE even thought this was necessary. I mean, on the other hand, they've buffed the shotguns, which compared to the DMRs weren't all that bad or unpopular to begin with. It's hard to say whether the balancing in the spring patch was good or bad in general, but there's definitely been a lot of fixing stuff that wasn't broken. The DMRs definitely fit into this category, so if you're a fan of the DMRs, then you should be aware that they might not be the same as you remember. So what's happened to the DMRs? Well, to begin with, spread decrease has been reduced for most of the weapons in game, which is a big deal for semi-auto weapons. DMRs have always been precision weapons though, and this should really only be an issue if you spam the trigger, so pace your shots out and you should be fine. Also, quite a few DMRs have had a reduction to horizontal recoil, which isn't a huge buff, but it is worth mentioning. As a trade-off though, pretty much all the DMRs have had a nerf to ADS, with some guns now twice as inaccurate as they were before the patch. Now, another interesting change to the DMRs has been a rebalance of the first shot recoil multiplier and vertical recoil. Basically, all of the DMRs have had their first shot multiplier cut in half, but as a trade-off, the vertical recoil has also been doubled. I've heard a lot of people say that this was to prevent spamming, but as far as I can tell, no matter how you do the calculations, the vertical recoil is still the same. This also factors in attachments, and as far as I know, the multiplier doesn't affect horizontal recoil, so this seems like a token change more for consistency rather than anything else. The last really important change to the category though has been the headshot multiplier buff, which applies to everything except the DMRs. Pretty much every other weapon category in-game now has a multiplier of more than 2.13, while the DMRs are still stuck at 2. I can understand why they didn't change this for DMRs though, because a 2-shot headshot at all ranges is kind of a bit ridiculous. That being said though, this is still effectively a nerf which now makes the DMRs less effective compared to other guns than they previously were. Now, bearing all of this in mind, are the DMRs still good weapons? Well, as you can see in this gameplay, the SKS is still a beast. I think the first game I played with this gun after the patch, I went 24-3, which just goes to show that they still can be viable weapons. I think the SKS has probably come through this patch a bit better than most of the DMRs though, because they finally buffed its bullet drop stat to a realistic 9.81. The M39 is probably still the best all-round DMR though, because with a new accuracy model across the category, it's now only slightly less accurate than the competition. In general, the DMR category is still pretty decent, but like I said before, I never expected any changes as drastic as this. DMR started out as probably the least effective category, and it's sad to see them nerfed when they were finally a decent alternative to automatic weapons. I really hope DICE reverse what they've done to the accuracy of these guns in particular, because although it's not a huge problem, it's still an unnecessary change. I'm all fine with patching what needs to be patched, but the DMRs weren't really bothering anyone, and all this patch has done is make the category even less popular. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this video, so let me know what you think in the comments section below, and as always, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description below if you want to see more of my videos, or if you'd like to support my channel on Patreon, and until next time, see you later, and have a good one.